Am I the a-hole for moving back home after my husband left me even though I'm pregnant? I've been getting cruel messages from my ex, his family, and our friends for the past few days. My soon-to-be ex-husband Levi 33M and I 28F have been together for a decade, married for 5 years. I'm currently pregnant with our first baby and due next month. After I graduated, I moved back to his hometown, a major city on the West Coast, with him. I'm from a bigger city in the Midwest, but loved living out there. I thought we were happy. We planned our baby and were so excited. But a few weeks ago, he told me he was going to file for divorce. He said he didn't want to be tied down anymore. He was still young and needed to live his life, etc. He said there was nobody else, but I know since then he's been seeing someone. He wanted me to move out, but this is my house too. I put down the down payment even. So he's been staying with his friend Louis. I can't afford to live here on my own while maintaining my lifestyle. Sure, I could make it work, but it wouldn't be the kind of lifestyle I'd want to live, especially with a baby. I make really good money even though it's so expensive. I have friends for sure, but not the support system he does. No family here. So I've decided to move back home, and luckily my company has a location in my hometown, so I was able to keep my job. My parents have been so supportive. They're divorced and hate one another, but are now combined in their hatred of Levi, which is interesting to see. They've secured me a nice rental home in my city and refused to let me pay them back, saying I need to save to buy my next house. They're paying for my divorce lawyer and my co-pays at my new doctor here. They're paying and saying I'm doing the right thing for my baby and are happy to help. My mom is about to retire and even wants to watch my baby while I work after my maternity leave. So it's been an ideal situation for me. Levi is furious. He's claiming that I moved to get back at him, and I'm going to try to keep him out of our baby's life. I explained very clearly that I couldn't afford to be a single mom in San Diego, but he doesn't believe me. He's told everyone I moved back to get the upper hand on custody. That's not why I moved, but it's definitely a plus. His job doesn't have any locations here, and they won't keep him if he moves. He could get another job here, of course, but he says that's too much to ask of him. I told him I'd be going for child support once the baby is born, and he told me I needed to make up my mind. Could he be a dad or not? I told him he was going to be a dad regardless, and if he doesn't want to move here, then he would be a dad by paying child support. I don't think I'm an asshole. I think I'm doing what I have to do. But I don't know what I'm supposed to say to all these people texting and calling me and telling me I'm keeping Levi's baby from him. Some of OOP's comments. Narnia Mouse. You moving somewhere because you need financial support isn't an AITA situation. But I don't know what I'm supposed to say to all these people texting and calling me and telling me I'm keeping Levi's baby from him. You said you have a divorce lawyer? Talk to them about whether you're doing anything illegal/divorce compromising when it comes to the child. And stop responding to everyone calling/texting until you get that answer. OOP, I'm not. He can't force me to stay anywhere, and I'm the pregnant one, so yeah, the baby goes where I go. It is what it is, and he can't stop me from leaving the state, LOL. Investment Classic 67, I hope you have sold the house and got your down payment back. OOP, working on it, but it's hard being out of state, and he's not cooperating. Fmobile, 5851, top comment. First off, congratulations on your baby. Second, don't respond to those stupid texts. You can block those numbers. If he sends any hateful texts, especially now with the baby, you can save those and use it in court if he ever tries to go after you. What you need is a peaceful time before delivery and stress-free postpartum lifestyle. And go for child support. He's the one who wanted to leave for a free lifestyle. Now he's got it. OOP. Oh, I'm going for full child support, don't worry, LOL. It would be one thing if this was a one-night stand thing, but we planned our baby and he's not getting out of supporting it. Block people sending you messages. I have blocked some of them, but it doesn't mean that I've forgotten what they said and was just wondering if they were right. Beach in Life 1. I wonder if they even know about his side piece? Do they know he left you for someone else during your pregnancy? If not, I might be tempted to unblock them long enough to inform them of that little tidbit and then block them again. OOP, they know we planned on getting pregnant, and it even took us a few months, and that he has a new girlfriend, so I guess they do. I guess they don't care. Last names. Yeah. I'm going back to my maiden name and will be giving my baby my maiden name. Interesting, Sir 7605. What do his family and friends think of him leaving his pregnant wife to be free? OOP. That he deserves to be happy. I thought we were happy, but here we are. This was in response to a downvoted comment, but I loved OOP's response, so I am including it. Sure, it would be illegal if the baby was born, and if I was a goat I would have hooves. But it has not, and I am not, so none of that matters. And I have no interest in helping my ex out. Going forward, I'm only doing things for myself and my baby. I have no intention of allowing him to sign away his rights or get out of child support. If he wants to live a free lifestyle with a new woman, I won't stop him, but he will have to calculate the child support he'll owe into his budget. I didn't make the choices that lead to all of this. I'm only responding to them with ways that will benefit me the most. Glad I could clear things up for you. To people giving legal opinions. Again, I have a lawyer. I don't need legal advice. My legal team has absolutely zero concerns about him getting custody, even though he did file in Cali. And seeing how he hasn't even gotten a lawyer because he's convinced that I'll work with him amicably makes me even less stressed. I need to focus on myself and my baby. The legal side is taken care of. Did OOP see it coming? No, it was out of nowhere. I haven't had time to grieve the life I've lost because I need to take care of business. LOL, I'm sure it'll bubble up at some point. It doesn't matter that he's asked to get back with me. It was after I knew he'd gotten a new girlfriend. He'd already left. There's not a chance he's coming back from that. Update post, 6 days later. So first off, I thought I was clear in my first post, but the amount of helpful comments who skipped over the following info was driving me insane. I have already moved back to the Midwest, and I already have a lawyer. So no need to tell me to move before my baby is born or yell at me to get a lawyer. I have done both. A few weeks after moving out, he had filed for divorce in California. Since I was moving and obtaining a lawyer, I had not yet responded. I have an OBGYN here in my hometown and am set up to give birth here. I have legal advice from a professional. My ex Levi came to my place like the day after my post. I hadn't been responding to him or his friends/family and had just muted their numbers. I got home and he was talking to my new neighbor who I haven't met yet. I wanted him to stop, so I let him come inside to talk, but also texted my parents what was going on. Basically, he said everything had been a mistake, he didn't think everything through enough, and that he had withdrawn his divorce petition. He said he was fine living in my hometown, he'd need time to find a job, but could work on selling the house back west in the meantime, and work remotely until he found a new job. Kind of acting like everything was fine. Very strange though, not like he was on drugs. I've seen him on drugs, LOL, it's been years, but it wasn't that. I don't know. By the time my dad got there, I was very upset and not thinking clearly. His wife drove me to their house, and he stayed there with Levi for a bit and got him to leave, and he's been at my mom's and won't leave town. I don't want to get too into it. My lawyer was able to confirm he sort of withdrew the petition, but it was either incomplete or incorrect. His behavior has been odd. Yes, I told them I'm not talking to him unless he gets evaluated, and I don't know if my mom wore him down or what, but he agreed and has been at the hospital all day. My mom's boyfriend has been through a lot of this with his own son and was able to get him into a good hospital, and I hope we know something soon. To be honest, I'm exhausted and overwhelmed. I feel bad saying this, but I don't want to be dealing with this right now. I have so much going on and had already kind of divorced him and started my life as a single mom in my head. I'm not saying I'm going to stay with him even if this is a healthy thing. He has crossed so many boundaries and hurt me so badly in just 2 months. But I did make a vow that I take seriously, and before all of this, if I told you he'd done any of this, you'd think I was insane. So I'm not really sure why I'm posting an update. I'm not religious, but I grew up Catholic, and maybe someone who reads this and can pray for us, I guess. They'd have a more direct line to the big guy than me right now. I'm not sure what I'd pray for. If he's fine, then he's just an asshole, and I am fine divorcing him. But if it's something more, I'm so overwhelmed at the thought of taking care of both him and a newborn. But it would mean he hasn't been deceiving me all these years. Sorry, it's not the best update. Edit. I've gotten a few comments and also want to say this. I have his phone. I now know for a fact the woman he was seeing was not the woman I thought. He didn't meet that woman until after he'd filed for divorce, and that she still wants to be with him. I'm not saying this changes anything, but people kept bringing her up. Some of OOP's comments. Device Motor 3938, top comment, His girlfriend who he was cheating on you with dumped him when she found out about you and/or the baby. Of course he'll pass the medical assessment because there's no test for douchiness. OOP, I don't want to get too into it. I know this isn't the case, and I have his phone though. We'll see how everything goes. He was voluntarily admitted earlier, but they haven't told me anything yet. Medium-sized maze. Are his friends and family still contacting you? I'm sorry, but I don't think I could forgive him for deciding he wanted to be free. And I definitely could not forgive him for getting everyone to harass you. Are you sure he wasn't seeing someone else? There's just so much that doesn't make sense. What made him want a divorce and now what's made him change his mind? OOP, yes, but I don't respond to them. I let his parents know what was going on, and they're flying out tomorrow. He was seeing someone. I knew that though. I have his phone now. I know he didn't meet her until after he'd filed for divorce, and she still wants to be with him. None of it makes much sense. How OOP got his phone and whether he has a second. They gave it to me after he was admitted. I don't know if he has another phone, I guess, but everything seems to be on here. Next split 2683. However everything goes and whatever you decide, I want to wish the best for you and your baby. You've made all the right moves, considering the circumstances. At this point, it's all about you and the baby staying safe and healthy. OOP, thank you. I agree. I know everyone is mad. I still care about him. But it's about my baby, and honestly, I think the best thing for a baby is having a healthy dad, even if he's an asshole. If something is wrong, I might still leave him, but I'd be supportive of him getting better, and so would my family. I don't even know what I want to happen. OOP clarifies. I don't actually want him back. I think that's where people are confused. I don't want to be with him. What I said about making a vow was that we are included in sickness and health, and I almost feel guilty because I don't want him even if he's sick. I just feel like there's something wrong with me. Mini update in comments. 2 days later. Unfortunately, it's not looking good. I wish he was just all of the sudden an asshole who consulted an attorney. It would be better than what we're likely dealing with now. Update post 2, 2 months later. I haven't updated in a while, been a little busy. I have a daughter, smiley face. She is perfect in every way and the cutest, sweetest, easiest, and snuggliest baby that's ever lived. She's a little over 4 weeks now, and I can't believe she's my baby and that I'm her mom. Sometimes I just stare at her sleeping because she makes me so happy. I feel bad, but I was so happy that she was a girl. I know you're not supposed to want one or the other, and I didn't want to find out beforehand because I didn't want to be disappointed. I have a few more months of maternity leave, and this sounds bad though. I could never be a stay-at-home mom. I don't know if she's just easy and my recovery has been easy, but I'm kind of bored a lot, lol. My mom is going to retire soon and watch her, and she keeps acting like I'm jealous when it's like, no, that's fine, lol, I need to be around adults. But going back, I know Levi had only agreed to go to the hospital in the first place to prove to me nothing was wrong. But there was. Like I said, we were young once. I know what he's like drunk or on drugs, and he was just different in an almost scary way when he showed up at my house. I could tell something was off from his eyes alone. So yeah, after he went to the ER, they called a few hours later and told us they were admitting him to the psychiatric wing for mania and psychosis. He was kept there for almost 2 weeks and diagnosed with bipolar disorder. The hospital kept him for so long to stabilize him, and because they were worried he'd hurt himself if he left too soon. Right now he is on medications and in an outpatient program. His parents flew out and his mom admitted that her biological dad, I had apparently only ever met her stepdad, but she calls him dad, had been bipolar, but thought Levi and her other son were too old to get it at this point. It was so frustrating because we had even talked to them about hereditary diseases when we decided to start trying for a baby, and she didn't mention anything. Like, I now know she has trauma from all of that, but it was a horrible thing to come out when I was about to give birth. Levi is on a LOA leave of absence from his job right now and staying in my mom's pool house, but he has found a place that he's moving into after the first of the year. It's a 2-bedroom condo in a safe area, but he admitted he didn't have anything in her room yet. His doctor told him to hold off because an empty daughter's room would be bad for his mental health. And even Levi has admitted she won't be spending the night there for a while. But sometimes he'll make comments about getting certain things for her room for one day. His old job was really stressful, and his company has a position for him when he's ready to go back that can be remote and is much less stressful, but obviously much lower pay. That's fine. His parents are helping, and he has money from a trust fund, but his family is kind of old money and really focused on appearances. I think they want him to stay here, and I feel like he knows it, and it makes him sad. It's hard to explain. They did deal with selling our house and got us a really good offer, so I'm thankful for that. They always have a huge thing for the holidays, a Christmas party for families and a NY party on the beach for all of us. They want my daughter and me to go, but have been blunt and told Levi to stay here. I guess it would be one thing if they did not want him around because of what he did to me, but I know that's not why, and my daughter is too little to fly for something so unnecessary. After everything, Levi did apologize to me and has asked his friends and family to as well. He called and explained what happened to them. I wasn't there for the calls and didn't tell him to do them. I was kind of annoyed about it since I had other things going on at the time. Most have apologized, but a few think there's nothing wrong with him and that I'm overreacting. He's cut those people off. He hasn't made any excuses, just apologized. I knew the woman he'd been seeing was named Katie, and he had a coworker named Katie who is our age, and they're friendly, so I assumed it was her that he'd been seeing. I actually had found out a little bit after my first post that Katie was Lewis's neighbor who is almost 40 and has kids who live with their dads. One of our old friends from San Diego told me he was annoyed with Levi because he was acting like a lunatic and said he was starting to think I had a point. I don't know if that had anything to do with Levi coming out here. He's on a lot of medicine right now, and while it's better than the way he was, he's not his normal self. He's tired a lot and not as funny or quick-witted as he used to be. I talk to his therapists and doctors often, and he's not handling the diagnosis well according to them. He doesn't really talk about that stuff to me, but he's in a bad place about everything that's happened. He told me he'd answer anything I asked, but I told him I don't want to do that right now. Knowing there was an organic reason for his behavior might make it slightly better, but it doesn't change the things he did and said to me or make them go away. He kind of brought up where we were as a couple after he left the hospital, and I made it clear we were still separated, and I'd do what I could to help him because we were having a baby, but I'm not his partner or owe him anything. You all will get mad at me for this next part. I was planning on just delivering my daughter myself with everything going on, but I kind of freaked out about a week out and asked my mom if she'd be in the room with me. Unfortunately, she didn't want to, and my best friend had an important work trip that week, so I didn't want to bug her. My mom said I should hire a doula or something, but I don't know. I was kind of hoping she'd change her mind about being there and didn't look into one. And of course, she didn't change her mind, so at the last second I asked Levi. You might be surprised to hear that he was really supportive and calming, and at one point stood up for me when I was pretty out of it, and they were talking about doing something he knew I didn't want to do. It was the closest I've seen to the old him in months. So him being there made it more positive than it would have been without him, which is all that mattered to me. I'm never doing that again though. It was the most painful experience of my life, and I thought I was going to die. But you were all right. When he told me we had a daughter, and I held her, it was worth it. She's going to be an only child, LOL. I had them place an IUD, and am planning on getting my tubes removed. He's here every day, but we aren't together, and he doesn't live at my house. My lawyer was able to fix the paperwork he'd submitted withdrawing the divorce in California, but we are still separated. He's offered to stay overnight, but the thing is with his medicine he gets so tired, so I want him to get sleep. And if he's not at his program or sleeping, he's here, and I'm on maternity leave for a few months, so I can handle the nights. I got a flu or cold or something about a week ago, and he did stay over those nights since I was so miserable, so that was nice to have a backup. I kind of skirted around it when he was looking for a place, like how long he'd be willing to stay here, because I don't want him staying in the Midwest just because he thinks we'll get back together. He said he wants to stay with his daughter no matter what, but it was sad because he kind of acknowledged that his family doesn't want him to move back. He also really likes the therapist on his team here. He said it in a joking way, but apparently his sessions with him are the only times he's not constantly reminded that his shitty actions ruined his life. I didn't really want to comment on that, but I'm glad he likes them. My dad was saying he thought I'd be happy to see him down so bad, but I'm not. I don't think it's funny or karma, it's a shitty situation all around. My dad and mom also tried joking about me getting back into dating, as if that's even an option for like a billion years now. But either way, I'm not interested in dating or meeting anyone new anyways. Don't get me wrong, I don't really think I want to get back together with Levi either. We just need to focus on our daughter, and he needs to stay focused on getting better. But with everything, I'm also in no hurry to move things along. If he wasn't being as helpful and kind as he has been, I probably would move forward on a divorce to be vindictive. But I don't want to right now since we just have a lot of other things we should be focusing on, and we're clear that we're not together. If he's doing better and nothing's changed by the time she's won, I'll probably move forward with the divorce, but it's not urgent for me. And as for her name, I kept going back and forth. But I did give her his last name, because I'll probably keep it anyway. But her first name is my maiden name, smiley face. I know she might change both one day, but it's a really good gender-neutral first name, and it's my middle name now anyways. So I guess that's where we're at. I doubt I'll update again. Hopefully there isn't much to update on. Some of OOP's comments. Least Instruction 2508. I remember your story, and you're a very good person up. You've handled everything with grace, and you're being a good friend to Levi, which is more than he deserves from you. You have a good head on your shoulders, and you should be proud of yourself. Just remember to take care of you, and it's okay to take a step back from him if it gets to be too much or if you're ready to move on. Congratulations on your little one. OOP, yes, I know that if I get overwhelmed, he's the lowest on my priority list. For now, everything is okay, but I know things can change, and I'm not going to beat myself up over anything regarding him. Nobody knows the right thing to do when this kind of thing happens, so I'm just taking the punches as they come. Rare_Explorer 5001, you are valid to have any and all feelings you have toward him and about this situation. Take your time with yourself and your feelings. It is hard feeling like the person we knew is still there and wanting that person for support even though there have been fundamental changes to their mental state. I hope you are able to heal from both the physical and mental changes you have experienced. OOP, that's exactly what it is. I really did hate him for a lot of my pregnancy. Now it's more pity than anything. And I can tell he really loves our daughter, and sometimes it's like he's the old him. But I'm not the most forgiving person and have a baby to focus on. It's just hard. To a longer comment. Thank you. I've basically said that he's forgiven in the sense, before people attack me, that I don't hate him like I did before I knew that this is not entirely his fault. When we talked, which was the only time since his diagnosis that he's brought up us reconciling, I said that I was never going to keep his daughter from him even when I hated him, but I had no interest before in helping and encouraging the relationship. It was all on him to be a present and active dad. Maybe I'm not explaining it well, but basically me forgiving him was me saying I will actively make sure you are getting the help you need to be in our daughter's life. The condition is that he has to continue seeing his team and taking his medication. If he were to ever stop seeing his therapists or stop taking his meds without telling me or his doctors, that would be the end of any help from me. There are no conditions to us being together because that's not on my mind now and we are not together. But even though he's not himself, he's much closer to the man I fell in love with even on the meds than he was when he was manic. Maybe I'm tired and not explaining it well. I did say in sickness and health, but that's just to support him? Not be romantic with him? I know I'm not making any sense, but it makes a lot of sense to me.